Hey Marlene, Daphne here. How are you in snowy Germany? We haven't got snow still. By the sea is less kind of common, I think. But we had a lot of rain this week. But today is sunny, which is lovely. So hoping to get out later. Although I don't finish teaching until quite late today. Sometimes I go running in the dark, which is really strange, but actually quite nice. Okay, many cities have areas where the only cars, sorry, are taxis and buses. Okay, positive or negative, and what are the effects on individuals? The Ielts book is excellent. Any of those practice books, I think there's lots and lots of them. You can probably get them quite cheaply. You may be able to get a PDF online for free. Any of those questions, perfect. The greenhouse gas effect, toxic emissions and crowded roads are the main causes for stricter traffic prohibitions in several metropolises. Good. This has analysed the key points in this debate and emphasised the impact on individuals and society using examples. Okay, now, yes, love that. Okay. This essay will use key points in this debate, including remember everything you learned on the course, and remember you don't want an empty sentence, what I've called the empty sentences. So this is potentially a bit empty because you're not giving me anything new. You're just telling me what's in here. You're not telling me anything that I'm going to read. I want you to introduce your ideas that are coming up. So key points in this debate, including health, yeah, and emphasize the impact on individuals, such as, yeah, and another example of what you're going to talk about using examples. This is really, really important. This makes your introduction useful, really. Otherwise, love that first sentence. On one hand, to pass local traffic legislation in urban areas could hold multiple benefits for their citizens. The most acknowledged advantage is deemed as the improvement of individual health conditions of people due to the fact that either those people or they, difficult one, or you could say those commuters, these commuters, then you'd be being specific about commuters. If you were talking about going to work, that means it's just a possibility. How to find an alternative way of transportation to reach their destinations. Good, okay. Local traffic legislation in urban city areas banning large vehicles. Now you need to make the specific point that you can still have taxis and or maybe banning larger vehicles and private cars. I think you need to be a little bit more specific here. Could hold multiple benefits. Yeah. The most acknowledged advantage, yeah, improvement of individual conditions. That these commuters have to find commuters and other. No, maybe not. You're right. It's difficult to do commuters because there's too many people. Have to find alternative way of transportation to reach destinations. Good. The Swedish study. Here, I think, to get more marks here, let's get this into the past tense. Let's get this into reported speech. So when you reported speech, you're going back in tense. Indicated that 6 out of 10 citizens preferred. Yeah, so you're naturally using it anyway. To choose their bike or walk within the inner city of Stockholm instead of taking public transport opportunities. Additionally, found that if people move to work by... Now, we don't move to work, we definitely commute. So commuted using... okay, we'd have to... using such methods. You wouldn't put by sporty activities. I know exactly what you mean, but it just doesn't quite work. Commuted using such methods, so that's the methods you just mentioned. Obesity would decrease significantly. Lovely. Very good paragraph there. Really nice. So you're telling me it's a positive development here. Okay. On the other hand, restrictions, so we're looking at the negative side of personal cars in cities, could also benefit most Western societies by minimizing crowded roads. Now, it's not on the other hand, though, is it? Be careful here. Because on the one hand, it is giving you one bit of information. On the other hand, it's saying, on the other hand, a restriction of persons per cars is against my civil liberty, and why are you doing that? Blah, blah, blah. But you're still saying it's a benefit. So you want to have additionally. Okay? Additionally, restriction could also benefit most Western societies by minimizing crowded roads. Okay? So here, if we're going to alter that, I would just go passing. Start with a ing. Okay? So a strong start here. Passing local registration, including banning larger cities, could hold multiple benefits. So strong topic sentence here. Okay? Multiple benefits. So this is one big benefit. Additionally, here comes another benefit. So you see that on the one hand, on the other hand, isn't appropriate here. You're not contrasting, you're continuing. Minimizing crowded roads are another key factor lies in environmental development, which might be positively affected absolutely by the reduction of toxic product, and subsequently might lead to improved air quality related to less amounts of automobiles, related to fewer automobiles rather than less amounts of. Okay? A recently published study indicated that due to local restrictions of protocols in the inner cities such as Hamburg, Germany, the air quality was outstandingly pure. Oh, I love that, but it doesn't work. Outstandingly pure. You'd have to go significantly purer. Outstandingly cleaner. You could have outstandingly cleaner. I don't know why. It's just what collocates. So what sounds more natural. So outstandingly cleaner is okay, or significantly is a really good word for Ielts. And I use this in task 2 and task 1. Significantly is a good word. Number 4. To conclude, to set measures in otherwise high traffic areas could gain several benefits. We don't gain a benefit, we offer a benefit. Offer several benefits for inhabitants and concerns. Yes, really nice. So here, lovely recap. Therefore, this development could be assessed more positively. I'd go should be. You're making a recommendation. Should be assessed more positively, might serve as a role model for further legislations in other global metropolises. Really, really nice. So let's go back up to the question. Is it positive or negative, and what are the effects? So you've absolutely answered that question really clearly. The only thing was just the structure of that on the one hand, on the other hand, which I hope you see why I've suggested that. And you did it in time. Amazing. Really, really good. Don't forget your conditionals, which you were so good at. Yeah? So don't forget the conditionals. It's so much to think about, isn't it? Don't forget the grammar element. I think people get quite excited about the vocab and the organisation, and then sometimes just forget the fancy grammar. So don't forget that, but otherwise, really good work. Super. So the proportion of income adults and children spent on 4 common items in 98. Okay. Yes, I'm just going back to this to see if I can kind of give you any more help, but on the vocab you're absolutely fine. In thinking of how you would have scored, you would have lost marks on that, but otherwise the argument's very clear and you've definitely answered the question really, really well. So here we get a table. So you've got adults, all of them, and then different groups, subsectors going down in here. Okay. So the table compares the amount of revenue. So revenue is always plural, and spending Okay, so you don't need that there. The amount of revenue and spending on for consumer goods, food between UK adults and children with an additionally comprehension with an additional split, I would say, by gender. I wouldn't say comprehension, but you could say split, like, or divide, or separation would be good. Overall, adults spent generally more money. Now, generally has to come here. Overall, generally, adults spend more than children and chose food more often, while young people preferred music. Okay, good, that's a nice overall sentence. British adults. You don't need the British. You just need British because it's in general. You're not talking specifically British compared to German or French, just British. We're registered to spend. Now, I love this word and I know brilliant that you're using it, but you can't. You could be registered to vote. Yeah? Let's have a look at how we use this. So I could be registered. So it's a passive. Oh, hang on. It's a passive use. Registered to vote because somebody else is registering me. Here, I'm registering. Oh, okay. No, this is what's wrong. Okay. So they were. So they. God, English is difficult. I'm so sorry. Okay. They were registered as spending. It only works like this. They were registered as spending X, Y, Z. Okay. Complicated. If you're anxious about using that, don't use it. Let's think of another way. So instead, you could have were. It's the passive that's throwing you. So were registered as spending a quarter of their income, or were reported to have spent. Ooh, also amazing but tricky. To have spent a quarter of their income, or simply, if you're feeling a bit nervous, British adults spent. Yeah? Or allocated. I really hope that makes sense in there. That is difficult grammar there. A quarter of their income. So if you have allocated, so spent on or allocated would be to. Allocated to food. Check out those verbs if you're not sure of them. Just translate them and then make sure you're happy with them. Which is more than twice the amount of children in this subsection. Good. Well, the favourite UK spelling of the U, choice for younger people, was music. Yeah, followed by, yes, well done. Great work on the fractions there. We talked about that, didn't we? Notably, compared with genders, adult women accounted for 39% of food, while men comprised of less than half in that group. Right? They don't. So 39% funds, or 39% spending. You need a noun there. 39% fund or 39% income. Something on food. Men comprised. You don't need to comprise of here. You comprise less than half in that group. Okay, well done. You can comprise of a noun. So comprise, my basket comprised of apples and pears. But here there's no noun, so comprise less than half. Okay. Children of the UK, a bit heavy. Maybe just UK children or youngsters. We know they're in the UK. Spent most of their earnings on music at 39%, followed by electronic equipment, which was significantly more good than the remaining categories. Lovely, love that grouping there. Category which was for most interest, I would just say literally of most interest to both genders was music, and 40 for girls. Electronic equipment was assessed differently, while boys spent 13% more than their female counterparts. Well done. What a difficult question there. There's so much information in there, but you have managed to get your way through that very well. I love the structures that you're using. It's looking very tidy, this. Well done. Just that trickiness on word, but what I love is that you're really pushing yourself, so keep pushing yourself. That's the best way to learn. Have a good weekend.